Hey, welcome to the quarterfinals of the Legacy Challenge. Turns out we are the fourth seed, but still on the draw, so never lucky. Opponent, I had some kind of guess as to what he's playing, because he's been known to play a Moggcatcher deck. Like, it's similar to the last deck we played. It doesn't run Fury Confluence or any kind of that trickery. It just runs a bunch of creatures and Moggcatcher to get them out of your library to, like, I played the deck before. It's quite interesting. When it works, it looks amazing. When it doesn't work, you just have like a bunch of Siege Gang commanders in your hand that you can never cast. But yeah, this hand, it loses to turn 1 Blood Moon. It's got pretty good game against Chalice. So I'm pretty sure I will keep this. Also, since I can't know whether he actually is in that crazy Blood Moon deck. What is he saying? Ah, okay. I just have to keep this. He goes for Cavern of Souls, names Human. And if I didn't know that he plays for Cavern of Souls in his crazy Blood Moon deck, Moggcatcher, I would think, oh, is this like Death and Taxes and he has a really bad start, but then why would he keep 7? This is another great draw since I assume him to be a Chalice deck. And I wonder whether I play Wild Symbiote or Quirion Ranger first. Because now the interesting part is, like, obviously, if you didn't know anything about what's going on here, you would probably just accelerate to get a really good turn 2 with these guys. But since he kept 7 and just played Land Go, I'm thinking maybe he's playing Chalice on the second turn. And if he ends up playing Chalice or Blood Moon, or primarily Chalice, I think I want this guy in play. On the other hand, having this guy in play also helps quite a bit against Chalice, because then we get turn 3 Natural Order. Huh, Julian, you have to make up your mind now. And I actually don't remember what I did in that spot. Let's see. Would be interesting if I just went for Senate. Actually, oh yeah, actually I don't hate going for Senate here, thinking about it now. Because if he ends up having Chalice, then next turn we still have like 2 mana to cast this guy. And play another Dryad Arbor, and then if we find another land, we can Natural Order. And if he doesn't have Chalice, which is also a very real possibility, then we still have a lot of... Then we go absolutely crazy, I think. Oh, wow. I wonder if I'm actually gonna cast Senate. No. Okay, I'm playing it safe-ish. I'm playing it kind of safe. I just want to get the Dryad Arbor down. Because the Dryad Arbor is also cast Natural Order on the third turn, even against Chalice. Just like this play would have done. I don't blame my Sunday self for casting Quirion Ranger here. It's a pretty safe-ish play, and the opponent did a super weak start. And when your opponent has a super weak start, there's no need to take extra risk. Like, usually when you have to take risks is when you're behind. Like, if you're behind, you want to take extra risks because you need variance to work in your favor. Whereas if you're ahead, you don't need to roll the die as much. What are he's playing here? Magus, okay. Magus I don't care about all that much. I still get to play my Dryad Arbor. Or even like just 2 of my creatures. But yeah, Dryad Arbor is fine here. And by playing Wild Symbiote, I'm... Well, I was already guaranteed to hit 4 mana on the next turn. But now I can attack for 16. If I have to. There's even a... there's even a scenario where I could see myself casting the Nettle Sentinel, Nettle Sentinel next turn, and then getting Senate for Heritage to it, and then still having enough mana to Natural Order, and then have a little more creatures in play, and actually kill him. Yeah, I think maybe that's actually what I'm gonna go for. Second Magus doesn't really change much, except for that he goes to 24 life, virtually. I wonder if this is what I'm gonna do. Untap target creature. And yeah, I'm gonna do it, Julian. Get the Heritage Druid. I know you want to. Yeah. Heritage Druid, Nettle Sentinel. And then I'm just gonna play my creatures. And I still have enough mana. Oh, that's if I may say, that's actually a really beautiful turn. That's not because I did it, like everybody makes beautiful turns. But Elves is capable of very beautiful turns, and this turn feels really beautiful. You just get the Heritage Druid down as well. Oh yeah, we get the second Nettle Sentinel to make sure we have enough mana. And and this is exactly 4, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 10, and the behemoth is 24, and voila, 24 is exactly what you need. Even can untap the Dryad Abyssal. It's not exact seize, but it's exact seize plus overkill. And there's the
carrier has arrived.
Oh, that sounded wrong. And then we untap our other creature and attack for 34 on the third turn against turn 2 Blood Moon. Or Magus of the Moon. Easy. Up 1-0. So let's head straight into the second game. So here we go. So how did I sideboard? Pretty much how I sideboarded the last time. Take out 2 Nettle Sentinels, take out 2 Glimpses and a Kraterhoof, and bring in 3 Abrupt Decays, the Ooze, and the Progenitus. I think in this matchup you don't really have to bring in the Ooze, because they have more creatures that kind of blank the Ooze. For example, well, Goblin Rebel Master doesn't blame it because the creature has to attack. It's just, it feels like they have a lot of random creatures lying around that they can throw away, or even like just take a couple of damage off the Ooze, and eventually the Moggcatcher engine is just gonna be so good. It's much better than a random big creature that you have. So I think I wouldn't blame you for taking out the Ooze, but I still want to take out 2 Glimpses and with those 2 Nettle Sentinels. So you could, yeah, I think bringing the Ooze is still okay. It's not as great as it would be against the other deck. This hand, it's great, it's good against Blood Moon. It's almost good against Chalice. Interestingly, so if your opponent has Chalice with this hand, you also actually want him to have Blood Moon. Because then your Cryer's Cradle gets to produce mana, so you can cast Visionaries, hopefully hit like a second green source, or like another Quirion Ranger, or Heritage Druid, or Senate. Like there's infinite cards you want to hit, but you really want to draw either a land, or like have him cast Blood Moon so your Cradle gets turned on. Opponent keeps 7. Mountain Pass. Mountain Pass makes me feel good. And we draw the card I don't want to draw. Can we just like control set, undo that draw? Nah. It's not the end of the world, but Natural Order just lost a lot of power. Assuming that the opponent plays something really impactful now. If he just plays Chalice here, I'm feeling he plays nothing. Okay, this is once again one of those points where I feel like it's either Kozilek's Return or Pyrokinesis. This deck usually plays more if it does play removal, it's more likely to play Pyrokinesis because it itself plays a lot of critters. Like not only has the Magus of the Moon, it also has, like I mentioned, like Rebel Masters and Siege Gang Commanders and that kind of stuff. And I think Moggcatcher might be a 3/3, not a 2/2, so it wouldn't be hit by Fury Confluence. But if you got Moggcatcher online, you probably don't even need to Wrath the board. So yeah, at this point I'm a bit scared of mass removal, but I still have to play right into it. Oh, another forest, great. And I'm not playing out the Gaia's Cradle here because they do run Goblin Settlers at times, and if he Goblin Settlers my Gaia's Cradle, I'm probably still in a real decent spot because that didn't really do anything, but I don't need to expose it to Goblin Settlers right now. And here I can play Heritage Druid and once again try to attack for 16 on the next turn, or depending on what I draw, I can even maybe even do more damage. Let's say I play Visionary. Then I play the Cradle 3 mana, play this guy 2 mana, tap these 5 mana, get Natural Order for 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 9, plus 10 is 19. Yeah, I could also attack for 19 by untapping the Visionary next turn. But let's see what he does. Might be mass removal. Oh, Trinisphere! You see, the beautiful part here is, like I mentioned, I was scared of Kozilek's Return, and I was scared, which obviously doesn't work now, but I was also scared of Pyrokinesis. And I remember talking to people in the Discord chat about that. I was like, oh my god, he played Trinisphere, that means he can't Pyrokinesis me. Because, like, it's a pitch card, but because of Trinisphere, now I know that you can't play that because you don't have 3 mana, unless he has, like, 3 Spirit Guides, but that would be a trade I'd be happy to make. So yeah, if I hadn't drawn Progenitus, I would certainly get Progenitus here. But now I'm just gonna cast the Visionary, and I think I will just still Natural Order. But only for, oh, how much would that be? Like 8 plus 4 for 12. So take him to 7. said had he had Pyrokinesis here, he could have like interfered with me, and that would have been annoying because then Kratos would only be for 6, and that doesn't. It feels like it would be quite a lot worse, honestly. But now, even if he wants to Pyrokinesis, he has to tap 3 mana for that, which pretty much once again skips his turn. So I'm feeling pretty good, but it's probably not Pyrokinesis. It's Goblin Rebel Master. Okay, whatever. I think for a moment I'm considering whether I should untap the Kratos Behemoth, but eventually I decide against it because under Trinity Sphere mana is pretty tight. And I eventually decide that I'd rather have 1 more land in play than to take out this Goblin token. Like, the life total doesn't matter at all, but eventually we might get to a point where the Rebel Master has to block, and then the fewer Goblin tokens he has, the better for me, because then the sooner Kratos Behemoth gets there. But in the face of Trinity Sphere, I felt that I'd really rather have the extra mana on my turn. Of course, Pendelhaven would be a really good draw here. And I was just hoping for Pendelhaven to actually show up here, so I could be like, oh, Pendelhaven. No, turns out it didn't draw it. And I think on a board like this, some people would be like, yeah, take out the Trinity Sphere with the Green Sun Sonnet and Reclamation Sage, but I think that's not needed. I think you either get Wirewood Symbiote or actually end up just casting Scavenging Ooze here. Okay, I get Wirewood Symbiote. I do it for 2, but I don't have to. Yeah, untap this guy. Replay the... Or first of all, get in there. He has to block the Kratos, so the these 2 guys are pretty safe to get in. Like, technically he could block one of those, but then he goes down to 1. And that's so dicey, he probably doesn't want to be in that spot. Or maybe he does. Maybe he feels like one of his few outs is to, I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, okay, and he goes and throws it under the bus. Jump block. Or as my friends, or one of my friends used to think for a very long time, jump block, like Mario does, like jump. It's like it jumps in front of the creature. It's like, oh no, no, it's more like a jump block, like a jump. Yeah. I just played it right hour because it's safe. Even if he has mesh removal, I can bounce it, and it still gives me more mana. Mana is, I can't call it a concern, but it's the only real bottleneck right now. So what is he up to? I don't another Magus. Okay, whatever. I got this 5/5. Are you ever gonna beat this 5/5? Oh, and he see that Pyrokinesis. It's not only something I mentioned because I played this game before, and in the back of my head it was Pyrokinesis. I actually, like, when I was talking in the Discord chat to the other Elves guys, I was like, oh my god, Pyrokinesis. He, like, when he passed on the 2 and the 3 lands, I was like, this is either Kozilek's Return or Pyrokinesis. And I was so happy when he played the Trinity Sphere, because the turn I went for Natural Order, I knew there wouldn't be Pyrokinesis, and now he actually ends up having it, and then you feel like, oh, I made the right read. And even though I'm losing, like, a bunch of creatures, I'm still kind of, like, happy. And what did he pitch? Oh, he pitched another Pyrokinesis. Okay, the super read. I bring back the Quirion Ranger, and of course, yeah, I don't bring back the Dryad Arbor because it's a mountain Dryad now, not a forest. It's like a green mountain Dryad under Magus of the Moon. The rarest kind of mountain Dryads. But the opponent, of course, also has a problem. He's only got 1 card in hand and 2 blockers. So I would just send it into Kratos, which will probably get blocked by the Goblin. And then I'm feeling pretty good about just playing the Scavenging Ooze. Oh, I don't? What am I trying to play around here? The Scavenging Ooze could hit him for 3 next turn. Actually for 4. I'm surprised they don't play the Scavenging Ooze. What am I playing around here? Oh, I remember. Haha, I remember. Oh, see. Oh, wow. Sunday Julian actually had an idea. So next turn, Magus actually has to block Kratos. And then 1 turn later, on his end of turn, I want to get Dryad Arbor. Like, I want to be... How would I call that? Okay, now it doesn't happen that way. I want to be as efficient with my threats as I can. But I still don't hate playing the Scavenging Ooze here. I don't... Oh, okay. Oh. There's a Trinisphere. I can't cast the ooze. You have to take a drink whenever I make something stupid as this. Yeah. Why am I not casting the ooze? Why am I not casting the ooze? Yeah, because there's a Trinisphere. I'm trying to read something into my own play, but then I just realized I physically can't play the ooze. And by the way, this, okay, this goes probably way too far and I want to make it short, but like, I think people do look at me as what they consider like a good player. And I also look at other players that I consider like good players. And I think that's most of those things are for different reasons. Like there's players that I look up to in terms of how technically marvelous they play. Like there's a couple of guys, or one guy in particular, where I feel like tactically, as in like very near future stuff or like things on board, they play really, really well and will hardly ever make a mistake. Whereas I think I'm prone to making stupid mistakes just because I'm not on that level. As in like on the previous board level where I was thinking, why wasn't I playing the ooze? Oh, it's so obvious because there's Trinisphere. But I was already like caught up in these scenarios where how can he win and how do I play around that and stuff, that I forgot the obvious Trinisphere. And like now on a game of Magic Online, like here, like this, obviously I realized it as soon as I click the scavenging ooze and it says 3. So I physically already know I can't do that, but sometimes I make like stupid tactical mistakes because I was thinking about something strategic long term. And I think I'm actually quite good at that. But I also don't think that it needs to be a trade-off. Like, just because you think strategically are like good, already experienced, that doesn't mean that you have to miss stupid stuff like that, because that's not how it goes. You want to be good at both aspects of the game. But I just wanted to like get that out there, because to me, I feel the part where I'm lacking the most is tactics or like stupid onboard stuff that I sometimes just don't see because I'm caught up in other stuff. And yeah, that's just something that was just popping back into my head, because it's something I actually think about a lot. Especially when I watch other players play, where I think that have a really good tactical understanding of the game, and then they do like super obvious stuff that even like to beginner players might seem super obvious, but I missed it. And I might have not have missed it had I looked even more clearly, but oh, by the way.
Perfect.
Oh my god, what is happening to my sound effects? Something is really not working here. But yeah, we won the quarterfinals. We are through to the semifinals, so make sure not to miss that.